Hi guys, and welcome to episode 4 of Babbling Brummies with me and
Episode
Jan.
4, wow. That's
Yeah, it's
gone quick.
going quick, isn't it? Uh, so obviously we've had a bit of a situation the last week and a half, just obviously with the coronavirus and situations at work, etc. I've been really busy. John's
Caught
had
COVID.
some, yeah, John basically caught COVID, and he's
I
been
was going to tell you, you didn't know if you were going to say that or not. I was like, I don't mind, I'll tell people. I've still got COVID. I'm day 4, feeling a lot
yeah.
better now. But it hasn't been great.
So we were
But
going to
yeah,
record on Monday, and
yeah.
then I received a wonderful picture of John with two lines on an LFT, which just
Gee.
saying GG. I was like, okay, he's got COVID. And yeah,
Yeah.
we'll talk about that for a sec. How you been? How you feeling?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling decent. It's literally so weird. Like some days, I've only had a few days, but like some days I wake up fine, but the evening I'm bad, and some days I wake up like this morning I had the worst cough again this morning. But right now, at the moment, hopefully it stays this way. I'm feeling pretty good.
Do you
So
feel?
hopefully it stays.
Do you think
No,
you
go
feel
on.
the worst?
I hope so. I mean, I honestly I didn't have it too bad. I know some people have it horrifically. So I'm very happy with how I had it. I've just been like a little bit down, um, like with bad head, bad throat, bad cough, weak muscles, stuff like that. But compared to what some people have, I've had it really nice. So
I did
I'm
giggle a little bit,
happy.
not because you got COVID, but in terms of you kept saying, like when we were online, you were like, last survivor. I'm the lone survivor of COVID in this house. I am the
I
survivor.
was. I thought I was
Like,
going to be the one who survived.
remember speaking to you on Sunday and you were like, I've got a bit of a cough, you know, and a bit of a headache. I was like, oh no. You were like, yep, it's COVID.
But the thing
Anyway,
is, like, I
God,
was doing so well at avoiding it. But no, yeah, I got it.
there's nothing you can do when it's in your house, like that, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we're here.
exactly,
We're
we're
back
here.
on the podcast, back on
We
the
moved.
grind.
So yeah, we apologise for the couple of days delay. We will get back onto it now that John is slowly on the mend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously last episode we spoke a little bit about the upcoming games, January pending, etc. So I thought we
We're
just
into
started.
January now, aren't we?
Yeah, we're there now. We're 6 days into Jan, and there's
So we've
been
got a
gone.
few transfers already, hasn't
I
there?
was gonna say there's been some movements. There's been some rumours.
Do
Go
you
on,
want to
John.
start? Do you want to start there? Or do you want to start with the games? There's been a few
Uh,
big games that I think we need to talk about some controversial moments in
yeah. Okay, we'll go for it then. We go. Shall we start on the 29th of December? Chelsea Brighton 1-1.
them. Yes, Chelsea Brighton 1-1. That was we didn't talk about that one, did we?
No.
Before the last one, that one was just about to happen. Um, Really, I mean, I remember I didn't watch the first half of this match, but obviously you see Chelsea 1-0, and you're like, okay, they're probably going to bury this. Turn on the second half, watch it. They're pushing a little bit, but not too much. Mason Mount did have a goal, not disallowed. He kicked into net after the whistle had gone, so it wasn't a disallowed goal. But I don't think that was. I think it could have. Well, probably not actually, but still. Um, but the fact that Danny Welbeck off the bench,
Man like
an,
Welbeck.
another dent into Chelsea's title campaign.
It's
What
quite
a header
it's quite
from the
interesting because
corner.
we're going to look at Chelsea as well because they have had a massive slip in form, and I suppose we can talk about it now. Obviously, he played last night, fine, but obviously
Big
we've had
Luke.
this big Lukaku, this issue with Romelu Lukaku. Like,
Yeah,
what did he actually say or do, John?
so basically, from what I gather, this interview was actually about a month ago, but it's only come out recently. Excuse the cough, it's just COVID. And what had happened was because there was a big when he moved to Chelsea, there was big issues with the Inter Milan fans. They didn't want him to leave, and it seemed at the time like obviously there's always two sides to every story. We don't know the inside what's happening in this club. It seemed like he forced a move out slightly, and
Yeah.
Inter Milan fans were not happy. So basically, I think what he was trying to do is make it right with Inter Milan fans, saying like, "Oh, Inter Milan's my home. I'm going to see myself back there one day." But when you're 4 months into a contract with Chelsea, it's
Yeah.
probably not the best thing to say, especially when you're about to go into probably your biggest game of the season against one of your title opponents at a time when you're in really bad form.
Yeah,
And
I mean, and you're getting
forcing,
paid a lot of money, lad. Like,
yeah, I mean, they've fined him, I think it was €500,000, which for a football fine is quite a lot. For he's in, like, re- in like line with what he actually earns, it's probably not too much.
I'm gonna look at him
But
now.
it's Tuchel dropped him for the Chelsea game, Chelsea Liverpool game, which we'll talk about we'll talk about it in a second actually. But it was the right move from Tuchel, 100%. It would have interrupted the whole thing. Everything would have just been focused on that. And to be fair, they got a 2-2 draw, and now 2-0 down in that match. Two amazing goals by Chelsea. First one from the corner, comes out to Kovacic, great volley into the top corner. But I like the second goal just as much. I really do. I mean, Kante played a massive role in it, but I really blame Van Dijk for actually going in, because it was Pulisic, wasn't it? He was running down, and he's going towards goal. And you see Van Dijk probably level with him, just running next to him, not interfering, not challenging, not pushing him wide, not going for a tackle.
He looked like lazy. He looked like he thought the danger was. He looked like in his head he was so calm. He was like, oh, "I'm going to deal with this," and then went up.
Maybe with Alisson, I mean, it was a great finish. I don't think Alisson would have saved it, but maybe with Alisson in there would have been a bit more doubt in Pulisic's mind, or Alisson might have got Van Dijk to intervene more. But Van Dijk should have done something there. And poor Kellier in goal, however you say his name. The man's had like one start of the season, maybe a couple of starts in the cup, and he's faced with 2 wonder goals against him. And
I mean,
one
there's
of them
nothing
very
you can do about the Kovacic one, though. There is nothing.
I was watching the match with my dad, and I said to my dad, Alisson wouldn't even say that. He can't be upset about that.
Saved that shot. Though. The fact that he hit it like that and it kissed the post on the way in.
Oh, it was brilliant. But that second goal was preventable. I don't know if you agree, Jay.
100% I agree.
Preventable.
They were trying to get to half time 2-1 and they just got lazy, and Van Dijk just looked like he didn't care. And massive drop. If you're a Man City fan, that was the result you wanted. Any of them teams winning wasn't nice for you. Obviously, you're still in a good league, but you didn't want any points going. Right, so for them to
that result
each was massive. That's probably giving the league.
All it did was help Man City. That result. Chelsea. I mean, 1 point went missing. Sorry, that's just a notification in the background. It's all. The only person that benefited from this game was Man City.
100%.
A point went missing. There's no 3 points on offer now. It was only 2 points which were given out. So one of them points disappeared. And I mean, I blame Van Dijk for that, and I'm a big Van Dijk fan. Well, I think he's probably. We talked about it last episode.
I believe I literally said I believe Van Dijk's a generational talent at centre back, and I can't admit this humble pie is a little bit salty.
I mean, everyone's entitled to make a mistake, aren't they? Everyone will make a mistake. You saw Maldini make mistakes. You saw, I mean, Ronaldo and Messi make mistakes. Even in their prime, they made mistakes.
Yeah, but Messi's in the 6th tier of English football, not English football, in the world football, do you know what I mean? Like, he's in the 6th division, he's over there.
That's why I slipped in. That's why I slipped in his prime, just to make sure.
Yeah, peasant league here, still, isn't it?
But to make that mistake in this biggest game, honestly, that one thing there could cost Chelsea the title. Come the end of the season, Man City might hit a bit of a rocky patch. Maybe not.
Man City can afford to hit a rocky patch now as well.
I mean, the difference in points between them, 10 points clear. Let's say Chelsea beat them. I believe they still have to play them once, don't they?
Yeah, they should do.
So they're 7 points behind. Let's say Man City drop 2 more games and Chelsea don't lose any. That game, them 2 points which have lost there, has just cost them the title. So if they got them 2 points against Liverpool, they'd be 1 point ahead of Man City if Man City lose 3 more matches and Chelsea beat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
like this draw for both Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool are in a slightly better position than Chelsea. 1 point behind, but a game in hand. Van Dijk might have just cost them.
That was Mane and Salah's last game for a month.
Yeah, but have you heard who they might be bringing? I know we're talking about January. It's all going to mix into that, I think.
Yeah, we'll just all put it.
Potentially Hazard coming to Liverpool.
Yeah,
I don't know how likely that is.
What Hazard are you going to get though as well? I mean, apparently Hazard in his last game at Madrid was unreal from what I've read.
I was speaking to my dad about this, and I mean, even when he was in the Premier, he's a bit inconsistent. But we're actually talking about Coutinho, who's linked with Villa as well. We'll talk about it in a minute. But I was saying to my dad, sometimes players just one-team players. They can only play for one team and be good. No, that's true. But sometimes also players fit leagues. Like you see,
Yeah,
older centre backs go to Italy because in
a
general it's a
little
slower
slower.
league.
Yeah.
Premier League are usually a lot more physical. I mean, not as physical like the Championship or League One, but physical league. The league, obviously, it's all like their um, skills on the ball and stuff like that. You don't really like to be tackled because if you get touched down on the floor, like you broke your leg. Like some players fit certain leagues, and
Not in the
maybe
Prem, in like the
Hazard
Prem or
fit.
the bigger leagues. Yeah, you're expecting a shoulder in the back when you're running. You're
Yeah,
expecting a little, like the Spanish lads all fall on the floor. You know what I mean? Not in the Liga, they're all falling down, holding the face, spinning round. Like
and it's just a. I think it's just a league thing. Like it's just a. I suppose a cultural thing. I suppose if in the Prem, the culture of the Prem is physicality
yeah,
more than the. I don't know, like maybe the skill moves you'd see in other leagues or the slowness of the Italian league, something like that. But maybe he could do a job for Liverpool. I mean, for a backup at the moment, who are Chelsea's backups in them positions? They'll probably end up playing two at top with Firmino and Jota. You've
yeah.
got,
So they've got
I mean,
Divock Origi, Minamino,
Divock. But again, these are mostly strikers. I know Minamino's not,
mm,
but you've
Eden
got
Hazard's great.
Harvey Elliott coming back, who I
Yes,
believe can do a job on the wing.
yeah, I think he can.
Um, if they bring Hazard back, of course, Hazard's there. You've got Curtis Jones, who again can do a job on the wing or in the centre. Oxlade-Chamberlain, who a lot of the time for Arsenal, the reason he left is because they played him on the wing all the time, but he does the job on the wing. But
Yeah,
is this going to be a job they need if they want to win the title? Do they need a player who's great at these positions?
I think Hazard's definitely a statement of intent, isn't it?
But I don't know how likely it is. It's just one of them rumours you see, and I was like, that makes sense. And I'm surprised they're not going for Coutinho, just even if it's on loan for 6 months, because he's performed at Liverpool and
They still
he
love
can
him.
do a job on the wing. Yeah, like I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but both Liverpool and Chelsea, this result could cost them the whole season.
I don't think it's a could. I think it has.
Yeah, I mean now it's Man. I mean it was before, but it's even more so now. Man City's title to lose. But can we talk about that Man City Arsenal match?
Yeah.
Because it was they were very fortunate in that match.
Oh,
Um,
they should not have won that game.
like Arsenal first half outplayed Man City, and except for a few silly errors, you'll probably agree. Like the penalties, I think Arsenal should have had a penalty first half.
I think if
Um,
you're giving Man City the penalty that they got, you have to give
yeah,
Arsenal the penalty that they should have had.
I mean Xhaka, he was an idiot for pulling his shirt. So I think if he didn't pull his shirt, it wouldn't have been a penalty because the player was already down. He made a decision that he was going to dive there. There might have been a tiny
A
bit of
million
contact,
percent.
but he was already halfway down when he grabbed his shirt. Like, what are you doing, Xhaka? Like, for me, probably a penalty, but a soft penalty. And the whole thing with VAR, was it given as, I can't remember, was it given as a penalty? It was quite a few days ago now. But if it wasn't given as a penalty, VAR shouldn't have overturned that, I don't think, 'cause it's a very soft penalty. It wasn't a clear and obvious error.
Yeah, I was going to say, we speak about a clear and obvious error, and it seems to be every damn week we're saying this now.
Yeah.
VAR, clear and obvious error, VAR, clear and obvious error. It's almost like they literally go, yep, the referee's made a decision, and yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, what is a clear and obvious error then? What is
Yeah,
a clear and
yeah.
obvious error?
It's more like there's what the referees missed
Yeah.
rather than. But referees don't miss, especially Premier League standing referees. And like, I understand the red card stuff because quite often you can't see how bad some of these tackles are. But if I can't remember, I was watching the match, but I can't remember if it was turned over or if that was the initial decision. But if it wasn't the initial decision, if it was a turnover from what the ref said, it was so soft. And then even after that, stupid red card because it was a second yellow. First one for was it when he was roughing up the penalty spot, wasn't it?
I think so.
It was stupid yellow card to get. And then if he wasn't on a yellow already, that would have been a good thing he did there. Maybe not a good thing in the laws of the game, but he stopped a Man City attack. Gabriel Jesus getting past him.
Well,
But
yeah.
it was that altered the whole game.
Man City
even
did nothing until that goal.
yeah, and like it turned him
Nothing
round.
until the red card, even.
And even then, I mean, but like they scored the penalty, but even then, Arsenal looked better. Like even 10 men Arsenal looked decent. And it took him to the stoppage time, Man City, to get the winner. But do you remember that goal which was saved off the line? How big of a save off the line that was by Mamake? Then Martinelli skying it. He must be kicking himself. So if he did that, I always say to you, it's so hard to score against a 10-man side if they're drawing or winning.
Well, yeah, because they're just
put everyone behind the ball. It's not like if you had 11 men, you might go for a second or a third.
You're literally just looking at a flat back four with a flat midfield four, saying, "Come on, then."
Yeah, and like that game could have changed this whole league. And Arsenal, in my opinion, deserve to win.
And this just shows. Also, it's a thumbs up to Arsenal because it shows the improvement. They got slapped 5-0 by Liverpool, and only in a month or two's difference, they're only losing because they had 10 men against a good Man City team. This team is getting better and better every week.
And I mean, we've been saying it every single podcast so far, but they're a threat. I think right now, if they played as well as they did against Man City, they could beat pretty much anybody in the league. As long as they cut out these silly errors they're making. And it isn't inexperienced. I mean, Xhaka's not inexperienced. With Xhaka, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a man who does amazing stuff. Some of the passes he made that game, brilliant, but you're also going to get the idiots.
I mean, you could say he's a little bit inexperienced because his football career has been, about 12 years, but he's only actually been on the pitch for about 4 years, So...
yeah, that's it, mate.
Man, let's get
started. I mean, and speaking of Arsenal, we're talking about that fourth place. Man United blew a big chance to get up there again, didn't they?
Oh, which game are we on about? They're bottom of the first, isn't it?
I mean, they did really well against Burnley. They smashed Burnley.
Yeah.
But who was it who had a great game against Burnley? There was one player I was so. McTominay. McTominay was insane against Burnley. But then, I mean, against Wolves, sometimes you lose against teams like Wolves and you're like, oh, they deserve to win. They did not deserve to win that game.
No, they were awful. Wolves kind of, I think, showed that there's still a flaw in Wreck-It Ralph's little tactics. Like, they got in the faces, they didn't like it, they pressed them. You know, it was a very good, and obviously Mr. Muscles and Vibes, Adama was massive in that game. Because he just
he only came on like
and went.
30 minutes to go, didn't he? How long did he come on for? It was but he only came 6th minute, and he tore him apart from 25 minutes he was on. Like it was. But I mean, have you seen about this stuff about Man United's dressing room at the moment?
Yes, I have. I've seen the tears.
And I just think these players need to stop trying to get managers out. They are just the biggest idiots in football right now. Like 17 players, I heard the highest number, unhappy. Yeah, that's because you're rubbish. That's because you're a team who thinks you're bigger than you are, who you should be happy if you get 6th place at the moment. Nothing to do with managers.
I'm not being funny. You all got Ollie sacked. It's not even that simple.
I think it stems back all the way to when they got Moyes sacked. I think this culture in the club.
There's a culture in Man United that because they've been bought for big boy money, if they don't like a manager, they can get him gone now.
Yeah, they act lazy, get the manager gone. And it's happened with Ollie, I believe happened with Van Gaal, who was a proven good manager. Happened with Mourinho, happened with Ollie, and it's going to happen now with Wreck-It Ralph. Like, it feels like when they don't want a manager in, it's the players deciding, and that's not how it should be.
Yeah, but there's players under him who are trying, and he's got a team of lazy people at the minute who don't seem like they want to follow the philosophy of hard work. They want to stand around and be alright. Phil Jones was man of the match for me against Wolves.
Yeah,
I will die on that hill if anyone doesn't agree. I will argue that for an hour.
I mean,
Phil Jones is unreal.
I agree with you, but more the fact that he wasn't. I don't think he was a real. I think everybody else was terrible, and he was the only one. Him and De Gea seemed to be the only players who wanted to fight for that game. Anybody else?
You've got Rafa Varane next to him, who was bought for what, 60, 70 mil?
Yeah, and like, Luke Shaw, wonderful in the Euros. I mean, his yellow card. He should. There's a number of times could have yellow carded. He looked like he was more interested in having a scrap with someone than actually playing the game. Like his yellow card was stupid. He just elbowed someone in the face pretty much off. I mean, it was a tackle. I've doing little bunny ears on my fingers because the ball was near him, but he didn't even attempt to go for the ball. He just went and put his shoulder into the player and his elbow into the player. And I mean, you have it all the time though. Like when Chelsea went for that time of getting managers out, and it was Mourinho, I think, and like Willian looked amazing, but just because he was the only player trying. And you will have players tried in these teams. But it's the vast majority of the players who seem to think they can just dictate what happens at this billion pound company. It's on the stock exchange, isn't it? New York Stock Exchange. And they just need to get over themselves.
They do. They need to grow up. Like we said this last week, didn't we, about certain people whinging and crying and.
I hope they finish 8th. And I hope these
I hope they
players
finish 10th.
I hope they get relegated. I don't think it's possible, but I hope these players who think they're bigger in the club leave and find out that no one actually wants them because they're just not very good. I hope Maguire, I feel like he's the one leading this. I mean, he's for Man United, he's been terrible, and like obviously he's had some moments of brilliance. But to be playing for a team who wants to win the league, you need to be consistent. We're talking about Van Dijk, and we're talking about the one mistake we remember him making in the last year or so.
Yeah.
That's consistency, not Maguire, who every 2 or 3 matches is a big error what he's done.
And I think, hopefully, this sends into Southgate as well, who will turn around and go, you know what, actually, sure, Maguire, you've been crap. No, I'm not taking you this time.
Yeah.
For these set of friendlies, you're staying at home, lad, earn your place again.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, mate.
Who made the decision to put Maguire as captain in that team? You got so many better options now, but even before you had so many better options. Who made that decision?
I think an £80 million bid made the decision for him.
Like, was he captain at Leicester? I can't remember. I don't think he was he?
No, Wes Morgan was club
captain.
captain.
It was Morgan. But didn't Morgan retire before?
No. Morgan was still there when Maguire left, I think. I
So
think Morgan's still technically there now.
Oh, is it? Well, this man who wasn't even captain at his you'd say lesser club in the structure of football, their stature, he wasn't even captain there. He couldn't hold the responsibility there. So why does he think he can hold the responsibility? Arguably, maybe not in footballing terms right now, but one of the biggest clubs in the world. Who made that decision? I know, I don't know. It's winding me up. And like, there's so
It'll be interesting to see how they get on in the Champions League.
Oh man, I hope they get smashed. I really hope last 16 so they go out.
It's just ridiculous. Especially when you got people crying their eyes out, like Ronaldo and Bruno and all that, and they're all saying, "Oh, I don't know this, I don't know this, I don't know." Grow up. They're playing for, and I hate to admit it, they're still one of the biggest clubs in world football.
They're going to get smashed by Madrid.
Yeah, they're going to get absolutely battered.
And like, I mean, I like Bruno. I think he's actually one of the players who, I don't know if he got Ollie out. I think maybe he might have been involved in that. Like,
I think he was one of the few who actually tried though.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He seems to just love football, and I think he is trying. But you look at this team, like who here actually cares right now? I don't know, man.
I'm just going to go for a quick United team in my head. David De Gea, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Rafa Varane, Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw, McTominay, obviously Fred, Jadon Sancho, Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes, and left wing Rashford. That starting 11 should not be anywhere where they are right now. They should be so much higher, but their attitude is appalling.
Even Pogba. Where's Pogba?
Where's Pogba? Probably leaving.
I mean, have you seen that gif going around, that meme of Aaron Wan-Bissaka? And it's when it's on, I think it's on the right wing. It would be, he's right back in it. And the ball's going out of play. Wan-Bissaka's right by it, and he pretty much leaves it's got to play. You see Ronaldo run across to keep it in. He keeps it in, passes it to Wan-Bissaka, who was actually close to the ball when it was going out, but Ronaldo keeps it in. Wan-Bissaka runs past a few players And then Christian Cross and literally just passes it out for a goal kick.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awful. And that's been the Manchester United Wan-Bissaka mostly. There's been a few things again he's done well, but I don't think he's what they expected.
No, I don't think so either. I think sorry.
It's
He's been a
alright,
bit of a
mate.
letdown. I've got a night shift, imagine.
Yeah,
No,
it's just...
I think they've just been inconsistent. They've been awful. And I'm going to try and move off United because the more I talk about them, the more I literally get so angry about them.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
that's
literally
fine, mate.
the only player I have any respect for in that 11 is Marcus Rashford right
Yeah, but even then, I mean, his form's not been great recently, and
now. I know.
I
But at
don't
least
think
he's a
his
good
form...
human being. That's what I
Yeah,
mean. Like,
yeah,
he,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, at least he's actually been alright. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, right? Last thing was that Mason Greenwood does not have a right to cry about anyone's attitude or anyone's behaviour after what he was pulling off in Iceland.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Yeah, let's move off. I think we're going to get
Oh,
one
yeah.
other. Should we talk about
Allegedly.
the Coutinho news, which
I
isn't
don't really want
confirmed
to
as
talk
of
about this.
yet, but I'm pretty sure from my sources that I've got, it's subject to just a medical now. Everything else has been agreed. A loan option to buy. Not even a they have to buy, an option to buy.
It's
Coutinho.
it's very painful to admit, but it's an incredible signing. Depending
Mm.
on which Coutinho they get. Um, yeah, I
I mean,
mean, I'm trying
uh,
to figure out what the plan is with him, really. Like,
does this mean that Buendia's outside?
I don't know, or does it mean they're going to work with Bundia?
They're both playmakers in a way, aren't they?
Yeah, I
Like,
suppose Bundia on the right, you could have Coutinho on the left.
but have you seen many? Like they're both not the paciest, great on the ball, can both pick a pass. Has a team ever worked before with two that sort of playmakers?
I think if you put one on, imagine if you're in like a 4-2-2, you could
Hmm.
throw like one as right attacking mid, and Coutinho's 100% going on the left.
Yeah.
Right, you can make it work.
Do you think they're too similar of a player though?
Probably, but
You're hoping so.
I'd like to think that Steven Gerrard probably knows what he's doing.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer getting him in. I think it's just. What does that? For me, it's like, will Buendia suffer?
Probably.
Because that's the only position he's going to take. I think. If you look around, especially let's have a look at the last Aston Villa side to play, because they're pretty much COVID free at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
Maybe one or two players. He's not going to take Ramsey's spot, is he? So I'm just getting the lineup up still. So you've got Danny Ings playing up top, sometimes on his own, sometimes with Watkins, but I've heard Watkins might be leaving. He might take Bertrand Traore's place and play alongside Buendia, like you said. But one of them positions, what's going? He's not going to replace Douglas Luiz, completely different player. Not going to replace John McGinn.
I think McGinn and
Um,
Douglas Luiz fit in as a two CDMs.
I mean, even Jacob Ramsey, he's a different sort of player.
I
He's
think
not going to
Ramsey
replace them
gets
three.
moved on loan or bench boys for a bit.
You think he's been outstanding?
I know he's been outstanding, but I think if anything, then he's going to set up in a 4-2-3-1. He's going to throw Coutinho in behind, Bertrand maybe one side, and your man Buendia on the other side.
But you see, Gerrard, he loves the youngsters. Like, you look at when he was at Rangers. I know Kent's a bit older. I know he's 24 now, maybe 25.
Hmm.
And he was playing him. He was giving him a chance. You got um, that player who's just moved to Everton. What's his name?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. The
Who
right
you on
back.
about? The what one?
The Everton transfer I've just done from Rangers.
Oh,
Patterson.
that's
He's like 20 years old. Like, Gerrard loved a young player, and I think that's going to be a philosophy what he takes taking forward in his management. If what I've seen, like, he was the one who gave Jacob Ramsey a chance. I don't think did he have a game with Smith before that, maybe one or two.
yeah.
But I might be completely wrong there. Let me look back. But I'm pretty sure Gerrard's the man who gave him his chance.
No, he will be, and Gerrard loves that stuff, doesn't he? He will consistently play off the youth.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, how old is Jacob Ramsey? 20?
if that,
19? And like, okay, he played quite a few times for Villa last season, 22, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them were off the bench.
yeah, I don't think he
Whereas
started many games.
I'm pretty sure he started most games that Gerrard's played him in.
And I think Villa do need defenders. I mean, Tuanzebe, I think, has he been called back now?
Who?
Tuanzebe, the one who came from United.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think they need to call him back, but I think he has been. Yeah, he didn't play last game.
I think they called him back as well. They need more reinforcements. And I think, I'm going to say, unpopular opinion, but I think Tyrone Mings is heavily overrated.
I think he's been found out a bit this season. I'll
Heavily
say that.
overrated. I think he played well, but I think people need to remember that he was the fourth choice at Bournemouth as a left back for a reason.
Yeah, I think he's been found out a little bit, but I think Villa are safe. I don't think anyone sees
Sadly,
Villa
I
as
think
being
they are.
a relegation candidate. I know they're 13th.
I mean, they
But
got
they're
wrecked by
11
Brentford.
They're 11 points clear at the moment.
Brentford showed them though, didn't they? Like, I've still got
That's
some
Brentford.
fails.
Like, I can honestly see Brentford beating Man City away from home and then going to Norwich and losing.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? That is Brentford this season. Inconsistent as any team there is. They'll beat Man City away from home and go back to Brentford and lose to Norwich at home. Like they're one of them teams this season.
the 11th of January is one in it for Brentford. They're away at Southampton. You can just see Southampton getting a point or a result.
Yeah, they just don't know what's going to happen with Brentford. Like, didn't they just got a point? No, they just beat Villa, didn't they? We were just talking about that before the game. You wouldn't have called that, I don't think.
No.
But they're just Brentford. They do Brentford things.
Brentford doing Brentford moves.
That's it, mate.
So quickly just looking at the league table. So like you said, 10 points clear. And Liverpool have a game in hand, so if they win, they go 8 points clear, so that's massive. Arsenal, I think fourth is theirs. But I think West Ham on 34, Tottenham on 30. Tottenham, man, I keep forgetting that. Tottenham in both games in hand.
I mean, they got handled there last night.
39. I mean, they did get handled. Did they get handled or did they handle themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows how much work Conte's got to do. And, I mean, what was it? Who did I see? Oh, no, this is old news now. I think I've made up. But I heard that Lukaku might have went to Tottenham because of his Conte link. But I think that because he's made up at Chelsea, that was not leaving.
Well, I mean, you say made up. I say looked like he had a gun pointed towards his head and said made to say sorry on the video.
It's one of them sorries like when you're a kid, when you've been told to say sorry to everybody.
I'm really sorry.
I won't do it again.
Yeah, literally. I watched it and I was like, man, this literally looks like the kind of apology I had to give my mum when I punched her in the video or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, but I don't see him leaving in January now. Maybe in the summer if a big comes in, but I think they can afford to keep him now. In the moment, anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
What
I think they should. No, I think that's what I was saying. I think now he's paid. He'll pay his fine, and it's all good.
Well, Conte's done the Jose Mourinho thing, hasn't he? Though with Kane, and told Kane he's going to build the team around him.
Yeah, I mean, is that going to happen?
Depends if Kane's there. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see if Conte can convince him.
I know he scored the last 2 weeks, but he's been awful this season.
I think it's because he's. I mean, he might want to be there now, but everyone knows that he didn't want to be there, and I think it's sort of a bit awkward. And like that awkward atmosphere can carry into a player's form. Like you quite often see players, if they're linked elsewhere, not play well, and not always it's because they want to leave. I think sometimes it's the awkwardness in the air, and I don't know, players might think twice before passing to him, not because they don't think he could bury it. And they were like, "Oh, is his head all in this sort of thing?" I don't know. He's a quality player. He's not a form like he's been in form, out of form, but he's always found his way back to form. He's not like a Michu who's a one-season wonder. He's a great player, Kane.
I know.
He just needs to find his form again.
I think arguably though this season Son's been better than him again.
I mean, Son's a world-class player. Son could walk into actually, I think Son would walk into every team in the league. I know he plays Tottenham
Man
now.
City included.
Man City would walk into Man City. He'd walk into Chelsea. He'd walk into Liverpool. They'll adapt for Son. I know they've got Mane and Salah. They'll adapt for Son. They'll play Son up front or
He'd
something.
walk in and walk back out of United.
Yeah.
Right.
He'd walk in, take a look around, leave.
Yeah, nope. Right.
Every team he would walk into, and I'm not saying. I'm just saying like, Tottenham don't need Harry Kane to be scoring every game, and they've got to play like Son as well.
No, of course, but I think they
yeah.
also need Kane to start actually looking like the lethal goal scorer that he once was. On that note, January.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting what Tottenham do, because I heard that Conte's been promised a pretty penny, and a pretty penny in January as well. I've not heard anything really except for that Lukaku one. That's the only thing I've heard. Who knows? Who else have you heard? What rumours have you heard?
I've not really heard too much. That's the issue.
You heard Isaac, I don't know how to say it.
Isaac, yeah, that's a big song. Obviously, Trippier to Newcastle.
Aubameyang to Newcastle.
Yeah, is that happening?
I don't know, but it makes sense.
Apparently, Trippier to Newcastle's near enough done as of 16 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, people saying 12 million, but from what I've heard from actually a source which I think is more reliable than Sky Sports, it's actually 25 million, just a 12 million initial fee. With the add-ons.
We said this was going to happen last week. Every single name I'm looking on the transfer window has a Newcastle name next to it.
Yeah.
Todd Cantwell, leaving Norwich, potential Newcastle.
Tarkowski, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Ramsey, Newcastle. Who else are you thinking? I mean, apparently Newcastle want to go for Haaland as well. And the big thing about Haaland is, I mean, I don't think it'll be January, but his agent's looking for 1 million a week. There's only about 5 or 6 teams who can afford that.
No, I think so as well. Hi guys, sorry about that technical cut out for a second by John. I literally heard him talking and just heard silence. I was like, hang on, what, John?
It's another thing with this. Like when I've got my COVID gone, we'll be recording in person again most of the time.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be all good. But we're just pretty much saying about transfers, weren't we? I was talking about Haaland going somewhere. I can't remember now, but I think there's going to be big stuff in January. You heard about Real Madrid's bid for Mbappe, 41 million.
Considering it's the last 6 months of his contract, it's a good bit of money to make.
Yeah. Well, there's a big rumours coming on. But I mean, they offered over 100 million for him in the summer.
Yeah.
So let me just get. Like you said, Judge, let's have a look at this list of where people want to go. Trippier, we just said didn't we? Pretty much guaranteed going. Apparently for the Coutinho one, Jay.
Oh yeah, go on.
They're only looking. Villa are only going to be paying between 50 to 70% of Coutinho's salary.
That's not bad. See, I've just read here. Apparently, Rudiger, he's entering the last year of his contract, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he said he's assessing his options.
But I think that's been for a while, hasn't it? Like, because Chelsea aren't willing to pay the 300k once a week, and Real Madrid have dropped out of the race for him as well because they're not willing to pay 300k. I mean, he's a great footballer. He's not a 300k a week footballer.
No.
I've seen Samuel Mtiti maybe going to Newcastle.
I've read about that.
If he can stop being injured. Martial going to Juventus or Barcelona. Or even Sevilla. Who knows? Like, there's so many things going on. Who needs a signing, do you think, in January?
I think, and I've just seen Watford have made a centre-back signing, so I think that's good for them.
Yeah.
And I think if I'm going to look at the Prem table again.
Who needs? I mean, we've talked about Liverpool needing this.
Norwich need 18 new players.
And that Watford, is that Samir who they've signed?
Yeah, Brazilian centre.
Good
solid Udinese player.
Yeah.
But let's go from the bottom of the league. So Norwich.
Yeah.
Norwich
they need
everything.
one. Doesn't mean they're going to get someone who will save them.
Newcastle, there's no point even talking about Newcastle and what they need. Newcastle are going to own about 45 new players by the end of the year.
I think my prediction for Newcastle, they're going to make 4 statement signings. Trippier being one of them.
Trippier one.
I think a centre back, a a left. I was thinking the four for me would have been, well, Trippier's already done a centre back, a centre mid, and a striker. I thought they were going to make them four, but if they need left backs, I'll flip.
No,
Wow.
no, I'm sure I heard someone's mentioning that they're after a left back.
Wow. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, we'll carry on if you want. I don't mind. We'll go through it.
Burnley, what do Burnley need?
Well, if they lose
Strikers.
Tarkovsky, if he goes to Newcastle, which was
Mm.
rumoured, might need a centre back there.
They'll need a
But
defender.
Burnley's a weird club. Burnley don't sign players um, because of how good they are. They sign players which will match their formation and match their system. It's a very
Imagine,
different ran club.
imagine if Sean Dyche leaves and they get like a Louis Van Gaal. Imagine that change in that club.
It'll be a whole culture shift. That would be. But I
But
mean, I know they're in relegation at the moment, but win their game in hand, they're out, and have another game in hand on most
I
teams.
just can't see Burnley surviving, if I'm honest.
I mean, in the moment, it's looking like it's something like the bottom four are the only team really in it at the moment. You'll need a big slip on Everton or Leeds, well, a bigger slip to pull. I mean, they're both
I don't think
from
Southampton
16th,
are out of the woods.
but even that way, they're 10 points clear at the moment. This early in the season, we've just hit the halfway mark pretty much, around, and 10 points clear. These bottom four teams have not been great, have they?
No.
Worse than normal. But yeah.
Everton
Um,
and Leeds. Leeds getting all their signings back are like new signings. Like,
yeah.
all their injuries are back. Or coming back. Look, it's hard against Burnley.
I
They
mean,
beat them
Everton have
3-1.
they've just made that sign, haven't they? The right back.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, Rafa Benitez says, because I know the Everton fans want Benitez out at the moment, but he said, I didn't come in here for a 6-month job. I came here because I've been told I've been given 2 to 3 years to rebuild. So, if they give him the time, wonder who they're going to bring
The
in.
man showed him that he can bring in someone like Damari Gray for under 2 mil. The man's been
Yeah,
unreal for that price. Let him have his time. Southampton, I think, are a slow sinking ship.
I hope they are, mate. I hope James Ward-Prowse goes to
I
Newcastle.
think
That'd be a great
Ward-Prowse
signing.
leaving would be the nail in the coffin for them.
I think Newcastle need to sign him. I mean, they've just had a new takeover, haven't we? We didn't talk about that. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
They got brought for a Jack Grealish,
They literally did get bought for the price of a Jack Grealish.
which
That
makes me
is
think they've got some
painful.
money problems at the moment, which I
Oh,
think
massive. A Premier League club that earns about 100 mil just on TV revenue been sold for 100 mil.
which
And who
it
bought
makes
them?
me think that they can't afford to buy anybody this
Have you
window,
actually
even
seen
if
who
they do.
bought them as well?
It's like a TV company, isn't it? In like
I
one of
mean,
the
like,
is it Eastern European
yeah.
TV company? Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens there. I think they're bleeding money at the moment. So we'll see after. I've heard just going back to Watford, Danny Rose isn't going to play for Watford again. He's leaving this window. That was Sky Sports who was talking about that earlier today.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting that. But yeah, Southampton. I don't think they'll sign anybody. I think they'll let players go.
No, I think so as well. I think they're in danger. And I think if they go down, they will be in a very, very, very bad position.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think they'd lose. I mean, parachute payments getting hit soon, aren't they? Have they been hit
Thank
already?
goodness.
I think it's very soon they're getting hit. They might have already been hit already, but they're getting a lot less money in them.
No, I think they are, and I think it's been an ongoing debate for a long time now that it needs to be dealt with.
Yeah, I mean, you see the Baggies, don't you? West Brom. They
Hmm.
were the ultimate yo-yo club. Going up, grabbing money, coming down, going up, grabbing money, going down again. So
Hmm.
we'll see what happens this time. But yeah,
Villa just leave them to do what they got to do. They're bringing in Coutinho. They're going to bring in some other shocks, I think, this time.
yeah. Gerard,
Brentford,
I'm sure is in business. I don't know who Brentford are bringing in. Right
they're
now,
comfortable.
I don't think they're going to overspend because you see teams overspend in this league. You see Fulham. You saw Villa at one point. Remember, it was when they got relegated, wasn't it? I
Hmm.
don't know. But they spent a lot of money.
And Fulham bought
Um,
like 15 new players.
yeah, I mean QPR. I know it's going back a little bit now, doing the same. Brentford. I don't think they want to ruin this chemistry they've got in their team. I know they're inconsistent, but it's working at the moment. Maybe in the summer when you got a bit more time to gel together, maybe bring in some signings. But mid-season, why would you ruin it? I mean, they're 17 points off that usual safety net.
Mm.
That's not that many points from the 19 games that are left. That's less than 1 point a game. I don't think it's worth messing with that at the moment for them. I think their whole aim of the season was to stay up. And I think they do that and rebuild a bit more in the summer.
Yeah, I think so as well. The Vieira Revolution at Palace, I think, is going well.
Yeah, I think they might bring in one or two players. Nobody game changing. But I think they'll bring in. Same with Leicester as well, to be fair. I think they'll do the same.
No, I think so as well.
Brighton, I heard Lamptey might be going.
Yes, and that'd be a big move for them.
I mean, I don't mind. I've got his football card of 99, only 99 of rookie cards. So if he goes to like one of the big clubs, like it's rumoured, I wouldn't mind that because that value will go up a little bit. But we'll see who they bring in.
No, I think so as well.
Wolves? Are we bringing in Doherty?
Are they bringing him back?
Apparently on loan to the end of the season. He's not getting game time in Tottenham, is he?
No.
So I've heard he's going back on loan. I don't know if it will happen, but I think that's a possibility.
No, I think so as well.
United hope there's an exodus.
Yeah, well, basically, yeah, we do, don't we? God, what do you think United need?
Everything. They need a team who don't try and get managers out. If that makes sense.
No, 100% it does. They need someone to just walk in and go, leave.
What they needed was in Moyes to, when the players were revolting a little bit, so basically wanting them out, what they needed to do, United was to say, give Moyes the power to say, okay, go. Let the player go. But instead, like with the Ashley Young stuff, I know it's quite a while back now, when Moyes said he's going to tell Ashley Young to stop diving, Ashley Young to the public said, I'm not going to stop diving. At that point,
get out.
Should have get him out. Never play again. Not release him, but sell him in the summer.
Yeah, send him on loan to someone.
Yeah, they should have given him the power to do that. And because for Ferguson, if Ferguson turned to Young and went, "You're not diving," Young would have said, "Definitely, sorry, I won't do it," because they feared Ferguson as well as they loved him and respected him. They knew he would do that. They knew he would take him out of the team, and they needed to do that with Moyes. They needed to give him that power. But they didn't, and now it's been sort of like a knock-on effect, and now the players have all the power.
100%.
We'll say the other day they need a Roy Keane in the dressing room, don't they?
They do need someone like
someone. But yeah, I don't know what they need, mate. They need a whole
Tottenham.
team change.
Tottenham needs. Well, if he's got a pretty penny to spend, it'd be interesting to see what he's going to bring in.
Well, we'll just talk about that, weren't we? Like, it depends how much leave he actually gives him.
I reckon he'll get a good 50 mil to play with.
Yeah. West Ham. I mean, they had a great January last year, didn't they?
A striker.
Yeah.
You know, just have a little inquiry about earning Haaland or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe.
I think if they get a striker, they'll be okay. Maybe bulk out the midfielder a little bit because Mark Noble is edging retirement.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Arsenal, an Aubameyang replacement. Yeah, there you go,
Isak, sorry. Yeah, it will be an amazing signing for them, and I think that's all they need at the moment. They've got the team at the moment. Liverpool, replacements for their African Cup of Nations they need. I mean, I didn't realise, I forgot to say this earlier, how fast Konate is.
Yep.
He's ridiculous. He was like outpacing, was it Mane or Salah? For a centre-back. He's decent replacement for Matic while he's gone. Like, that man is ridiculously fast. But anyway, that was just
and do you reckon that's why partly Virgil was so slow the other day against Chelsea? Because he probably thought, Konate's there.
Yeah, maybe he thinks he could. Yeah, maybe he thought Konate's going to cover it. Because he was outpacing everyone in Chelsea. I'm pretty sure he might be one of the fastest players in the team. Like, it was like, I can't remember what it was. I think it was Mane was chasing the ball back. We just see Konate like run past him and get the ball instead, and I was like, "Oh my days, that man is speedy." But yeah, he's fast. Yeah, but maybe that was why.
Chelsea. Do Chelsea need anything? Well, I was going to say they might need a new striker, but they're all well and good now.
They don't need a new midfielder. There are too many midfielders at the moment. Maybe
Yeah,
in
they
the
want to
summer, Kante may be
offload
moving
some
on.
midfield. Yeah, who wants Kante? Where is he off to?
I mean, he again would walk into every team in the
Yep.
world. There's not one team I can say he would not walk into in the world. But I think they need centre backs. I don't know if they need them in January, but Christensen's contract's out, Rudiger's contract's out. Both of them refusing to sign new contracts. Thiago Silva's just re-signed a contract, which is nice. But again, he's how old is he now? 37, 38?
38, 39.
Is he really? Like, they need some centre backs for the future. But anyway, yeah, I don't know if they need anybody this January.
And the age-old question of what do Man City need?
A striker.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, really. Everywhere else, who was it who said it? Was it not Roy Keane? I don't think it was. Souness. It was Graham Souness.
Where's Pogba?
He said.
Okay.
Pardon? What were you going to say?
Where was Paul Pogba in this situation?
Oh, yeah. I love it. He was saying, like, he thinks as Man City team are the greatest Premier League team of all time, just because for any other team in history, when you make a sub, you're bringing on a player who's not as good as the one you're taking off, generally. Unless it's someone coming back from injury. That's what you do, because you start off with your 11 best players. Whereas for Man City, when they make a sub, they bring on someone equally as good.
If not slightly better, because I've rested him.
Yeah, he said maybe there's like 2 or 3 positions where that's not true. And you'd probably think centre-back for that. But right back, Walker, Cancelo. Left back, Cancelo, Zinchenko. Midfield, De Bruyne, Foden, Rodri. All these players like Gundogan, Bernardo Silva. It's like these players. He was right. This Man City team, you could sub on a player and it'll be equally as good.
That is
sometimes
scary.
better, like you said, and that's why he thinks they're the best team in history. And I don't usually agree with Souness, but I agreed with him on that. So
I can see Pogba leaving this month. Now I think about it, by the way.
I hope he does, mate. He's just draining their money.
Back to Juve.
Could go back to Juve.
That'd be good.
I've heard Madrid don't want him anymore because they want to sign Mbappe and Haaland, and money-wise they won't be able to afford him. Like, they could afford him, but not financial fair play afford him, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they could afford him, but I'm sure that this is the last point I'm going to make, because obviously I've got to go in a minute, but...
Yeah.
One sec, I've got a cough, sorry, hang on.
COVID.
Where the hell have Barcelona started signing Fernan Torres for like over 50 mil when they're in financial difficulty?
I don't know. I heard they couldn't register him, but I think they have now, haven't they? Because they registered Dani Alves as well. Like,
so this team were in such financial disrepute, then they had to sell so many, have so many players wage cut. It's literally been 4 months and they've gone, £50 million, we'll have him.
Maybe with Aguero not playing anymore, they've got a bit, like, I can see the wage side of it.
It's stupid though.
I mean, they're in very much trouble. They're 15 points off top place.
The league's gone.
I mean, Sevilla. Have you seen Sevilla this season? The Jesus Navas revival. This is, mate. Second in the league. I mean, we need to finish in a second. Let's just talk about how good Sevilla's been this season. Yeah, second in the league, like Rakitic and Jesus Navas. Revival.
Yeah, they've been unreal this season, haven't they? They've kind of moved. And I don't hate Jesus Navas as a person. I hate him on FIFA. And he angers me so much. So I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, anytime I see him now, I'm like, you scumbag.
One of them.
Man. And it's that time, isn't it? Well, this is the last point I'll make. Well, the times are changing. The other teams now are starting to... It's not just you're going to be your Barcelona or your Real Madrid anymore. It's not just going to be your Juventus and your Inter anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just going to be PSG. There's other teams appearing in all the leagues now and giving a battle. West Ham. Look at West Ham in our league. Absolutely going for it.
Yeah.
Not letting any let up.
I mean, it's crazy these smaller. I mean, Leicester last season as well.
Yeah.
These smaller teams are realising that, like, the money they're getting in football now. I know it's different in Spain. I know it's like it's weighted, the money, but even so, these small teams can afford bigger players, better players. It's crazy.
Exactly. We just need a nice little oil sheet to take at Portsmouth and Birmingham over. You know what I mean, right? We're in the
That's it,
bin.
mate.
So.
Right, we won't talk about that. I could go on for another hour.
No, yeah, we'll do another special about how much in the bin Birmingham aren't, or just me crying for 3 hours.
And we're thinking of a championship special, aren't we? Or a football league special. Let's
We
say.
need to do a football league special.
And we've got a few guests lined up on the pod, haven't we? For
We
next
have.
the next few months.
Yeah.
We've got some exciting things to look forward to on this pod. But if you haven't already, please make sure if you're watching on something like YouTube, like, subscribe, really helps us. If you're listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform, once we finally get on them, why don't you drop us a follow? You can always unfollow if you decide you don't like the podcast anymore, but it does really help us. So, yeah, I mean, we're enjoying doing this every day.
Of course.
Yeah, but I think that's all we've got time for today, isn't it?
Yeah, man, I've got to shoot to work.
So, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
In a bit.